Welcome to the Opportunity Zones podcast. I'm Jimmy Atkinson, joining you on site at the 2025 Novogradac Opportunity Zone Summit here at the beautiful Four Seasons Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada, on the south end of the Vegas Strip. I'm joined by the OZ Sherpa himself, Mr. Ashley Tison. Ashley, it's great to have you here once again. What are your thoughts?
Tell you what, Jimmy, as always, it's an honor and a privilege to go live at the Novogradac Opportunity Zones Conference. We'll probably talk about this, but there's so much energy here based upon the fact that, we've gotten CPR for the once dead program. I had so many people that are like, oh, I thought that Opportunity Zone program was dead. And we've gotten, official paddles on it, and everybody's really excited about the resuscitation and the permanency and everything that's happening inside of the OZ space right now. So it's great to be here. There's tons of people here. You can feel the energy in the room. It's an awesome event. And once again, you know what? I'm actually enjoying Vegas. This hotel is really nice.
It is nice. It is nice. And I stated this at the start of the panel that I was just on a moment ago, the blizzard of OZ 2.0, and what I said was, this room is amazing. This is literally triple the size of this conference the last few years that we've come
absolutely.
to this. We kept coming, right? But there were probably 80, 90 people here, but now there's 300 people
2 years
here.
ago, it was like a big fraternity,
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's back to where there's buzz, there's hum, it's vibrant. And I think that people are picking up that with permanency, that we now have a play for this becoming a mainstay inside of financial advisors' toolkit. People are understanding that this isn't some kind of, flash in the pan thing that it's got a fairly short period of time and that it's going to be gone. Now people are like, okay, I need to learn about this. I need to educate myself. I need to educate my clients, and I need to be prepared to be able to be intelligent about how to use this in order to benefit both my own individual wealth, but also for my clients and for our communities as well. And I think that there's a big focus on that, about how this program has positively affected so many communities, and that there's this vibe right now about how it's going to continue to do that and how people are going to get involved in designating the new zones.
I've been telling people something similar, right? For the last few years, if you were an advisor, an attorney, an accountant, an investor, an institutional investor, you could almost afford really to ignore opportunity zones. Oh, it's already dead. It's going to expire in 26 anyway. Wait, didn't that already go away?
Yep.
A lot of the benefits had expired and gone away. Well, now you can't really afford to ignore it anymore. And I think that's the point you're making.
That's
so
right.
I want to recap with you what we've seen at this conference so far, some of the programming that's been happening. But before we get to the conference, the OZ Insiders hosted a dinner last night. You were one of our distinguished guests there as one of our founding members of the OZ Insiders.
Absolutely. It was really fun.
Tell us about that.
And it was awesome, right? The dinners before, to your point, I think at one point in time we had 10 people.
Yeah.
We had one table and everybody could talk to each other.
Yeah.
And last night there was it was a zoo. It was so loud.
We were at the Mandalay Bay. We had 70 people. The room was packed to the hilt. It was fantastic. There was a lot of energy.
People were hooting. They weren't doing that, but they were, there was nobody.
It's a little bit of that.
Yeah, everybody was having a lot of fun. Everybody was really excited about what's going on, and it was great to see that energy. I love the Capstone kind of co-sponsorship on that, and some of the cool things that they're doing inside of the space. They've been in it from the beginning. I should trademark this term. They are OGOZ.
They are indeed.
They are OGOZ. And so we got Jason Watkins, who's right out here. He might be the OGOZ.
Jason Watkins is going to come on the show right after
I'm keeping your seat warm, Jason. But I think that it's really cool to see some of the OGOZ folks that are here. But it's also really cool to see so many new faces. And I've gotten to meet so many new people that are now saying, hey, listen, I want to use this. I want to do really cool stuff, right? All the projects that I've heard about are awesome projects, and I want to be able to take advantage of this program to raise money, but then also to do good. And that's what it's all about. That's what our mantra is doing well by doing good. And I think that there's a lot of people who are, they're definitely interested in doing that here.
Perfect. And we're here. Today is, if I'm not mistaken, Wednesday, December 3rd.
That's right.
2025. Novogradac actually just announced this morning that they are hosting a 2-day conference next year, October 29th and 30th in Washington, D.C., a 2-day OZ conference. I'm going to talk with Jason a lot more about that.
I tell you what, if we know what hotel it's at, we should go ahead and reserve the rooms right now because it's so hard.
Book it now. So we'll be talking about that plenty over the course of the next several weeks and months as we approach that day. But I want to get your thoughts on what have been some of the biggest takeaways that you've had being in this room for the past several hours since the conference kicked off this morning.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest ones was actually the data, right? I love the data from your survey, and I love the data from EIG, that the real impact and the real stuff that's happening, that but for this program, that there is an unbelievable amount of housing that doesn't get built. That there's a significant number of projects that don't get done, and that they are proving, literally, with numbers, with real verifiable data, the naysayers wrong. We had a bunch of people that, because of the timing of the program, tried to kind of jump on that in order to pitch this as some kind of party political type deal, and to say that, this was just going to be deals that were going to get done anyhow, and it's a giveaway to the rich for the rich to get richer. And they specifically unpacked each one of those to say, that is not the case. This is actually working. This is moving the needle in areas that need it the most. And I think that that's probably the most exciting thing for me.
And you're referring to specifically the numbers that John Lettieri of the Economic Innovation Group released today. I think I'd seen them previously. This is an updated data for 2025. Their data shows.
Got the numbers.
I've got the numbers. That's why I've got my notes out. Their data shows that 416,000 new housing units were developed since program inception through, I can't remember where their cutoff was, some point in 2025. Specifically because of opportunity zones. They would not have been built but for the opportunity zone tax.
Isn't that word net new?
Net new, 416,000.
Right. That's a new term for me. I never heard net new.
It's net new.
It's the but for.
Yeah,
I'm familiar with that term.
But for opportunity zones. So that was huge data. And then you referenced some preliminary proprietary data that I shared out of my opportunity zone survey report, which we're going to be finalizing and releasing a full report toward the end of this year, but it shows a couple things. One, that investors are largely satisfied with their OZ investments to date, and two, that there's a lot of excitement about OZ 2.0. There's going to be some investment activity in 2026 per my survey report, but there's going to be a huge uptick in investment activity expected in 2027, which shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. I've put hard numbers on that. We're going to finalize those numbers and deliver them to listeners of this podcast and viewers of this show in the next few weeks here.
So notwithstanding that your survey says that, and I think that what the takeaway for everybody here should be, and I hesitate to even say this on a recorded line because we don't want the IRS to really focus in on this. Actually, I'm fine with the IRS focusing in on it. And I think it's something that everybody should be dialed in on that's raising money, is that there is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be able to take a valuation discount on paper and then to be able to pay taxes on that at a known tax rate if you invest in 2026. So if you have a gain or you have a pinup gain, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be able to exercise that gain and then put it into a fund that then goes into a deal that's either under construction or that is got lack of control or lack of marketability, other things that you can write down on paper, and then you can ultimately have a great investment in that deal, but on paper, it's less. And so accordingly, the legislation and the regulations allow you to pay less taxes in 2026. That is not going to happen in any other program, and that's not going to happen in 2.0. Now, I think that 2.0's got great stuff relative to the 5-year and the 10%, the 30% reduction, but this is a closing window for folks, and I think that the smart money is going to really look at that, and that the smart money is going to get off the sidelines and play in that game.
It's a great argument for making an OZ 1.0 investment, even though this conference is largely about OZ 2.0, and we're very excited about OZ 2.0. Why invest in OZ 1.0 this year or next year? It's a great argument.
So I think that is right. The kind of the crucial takeaway. I've been talking to a number of developers who are concerned about raising money in the second half of next year in this kind of supposed dead zone. We've seen the exact opposite. we've seen an immense amount of interest, spike in calls, a spike in web activity, and requests for information, people joining into our compliance weekly call that we have, and folks that are really going about trying to take advantage of the program. And so they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know about that. And so I think that it's a closing window that people really ought to pay attention to.
We've seen the same thing at OpportunityZones.com. We had record attendance numbers at our OZ Pitch Day a couple weeks ago.
That was fun, by the way.
One of our panelists jumped in the pool.
Tell you what, man, I don't know, you may
that.
not want to
That was
invite
pretty
that guy back.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I'm going to produce a GIF of that and circulate around to people. I think people will get a kick out of that. I know Yvonne was asking me for it, too.
That's fun. Yeah, we need a clip.
But, it was our largest attended OZ Pitch Day in over 5 years. We had 13 sponsors present, which was our longest duration show, our biggest show in 4 or 5 years as well. There's definitely been an uptick in interest and excitement about Opportunity Zones, even before OZ 2.0 officially kicks in. Just there seems like there's more interest, more excitement.
I don't unequivocally.
Yeah. Before we go, in case people aren't familiar with you and your organization, tell them a little bit about OZ Pros and OZ Pros Ascent and how they can get in touch.
So Ashley Tison, I like to call myself a reformed attorney because I try to practice law as little as possible because I want to help folks get in the game, and specifically get in the game of opportunity zones. I think that this is the greatest legislatively created tax incentive ever, and I think that people from Main Street all the way to Wall Street need to be able to take advantage of it. So we've set about trying to do that and to make it affordable for folks who are doing smaller or captive deals to be able to set up their fund and take advantage of this program. So that's what we do. We set up captive qualified opportunity funds. We help people take care of the compliance to build their audit trails for that. The great thing about Opportunity Zones is you don't have to ask for permission, but you better have a great audit trail. And so we help people do that, and then we have a weekly mastermind where we go through compliance questions, and we do deep dives. We geek out on a weekly basis about specific items that are of interest to folks, whether that's a structuring, strategic, or specific compliance questions. And we've got special promos for anybody who's listening to this at ozpros.com/podcast. You can get your special deals. You can join the mastermind. You can get in there for a month free on me, and we'd love to help you get launched on your Opportunity Zone journey, regardless of where you are kind of in the stack. Whether you're a small person that's got your own capital gain, or whether you're an aspiring developer who's looking to do a $50 million project, we help everybody in between.
I love it. Well, thanks for joining me again. If you enjoyed today's episode, hit that like button, give us a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube or your favorite podcast listening app to always get the latest episodes of the Opportunity Zones podcast. We'll come to you on site with a few more of these. We'll definitely be at the Novogradac conference in October of next year. Looking forward to that one.
I'm looking forward to that as well.
Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, appreciate it, Jimmy.
Pleasure,
as always, an honor and a privilege, man.
Thanks. You.